Alright, hello everyone, welcome to just a intermediate episode while I set some stuff up for the Elden Ring DLC, which I'll buy later and then play. This is a tier list of the bosses in Elden Ring. Not all of them, but many of them. The tier list is made by this guy, I don't know, I just found it. I looked at all the tier lists I could find, and this was the only one that had the names clearly written. A lot of the other ones had icons, but I couldn't see or remember who they were. And also this doesn't have all the bosses, just the... but I think it has the most important ones. If there's anyone that isn't on the list, put it in the comments. Anyway, so let's go. What's the rules here? I'm not entirely sure. If I don't remember the boss, what do? Do I just put it on C tier? Because I guess that means it's forgettable, right? Yeah, we'll figure it out. Let's start with a really bad one and a really good one, just so we get so we get the scale, because I don't want to compare anything to any boss to bosses outside of Elden Ring, because it's only within Elden Ring itself. And I'll also be, of course, remembering some of the earlier fights, and also be thinking about like OST and like the atmosphere and the visuals as well, and also the experience of fighting it. So it's very much first impression, first playthrough. Of course, if you play the game 100 times and you really memorize it, you learn to appreciate some aspects of bosses that you thought you hated to begin with. But this is New Game Plus, fighting everything only once, off of memory, the full experience. So yeah, let's go. We can start with... let's see, what's a really bad one? Like a really, really, really bad one. Trying to think. Worm face, maybe? Yeah, the worm face is pretty terrible. It didn't really add anything. Like, it didn't add anything as a boss. It's a little boss. It's like a mini boss or something, but still, it just didn't add anything. It's just a big, hulking, annoying enemy with pseudo insta-kill mechanics. I am watching a video of the lore of Elden Ring, and the lore of these guys are pretty sad. But the fight itself is pretty damn lame. So yeah, it goes there. How about a really good one? I don't think this is gonna come as a surprise to anyone. Where are you, sir? If you watched the video, which I hope you have, Malekith. This should not come as a surprise to anyone. Malekith is S tier in Elden Ring. Although the Clergy Beastman can be a little bit boring after a while. From what I remember, mechanically, the entire fight works really well. The Clergy Beastman phase 1 is a bit odd when it comes to the stone throw, because it comes off like a bit janky from the tip of the finger, and also there is some explosion that can go through the pillar. But other than that, this fight is excellent, visually speaking, the OST, the lore behind it, the design of the enemy, the excitement of fighting Malekith and learning the fight. Top tier. Easily the best fight in the game. So yeah, now we have the best and a terrible one, so that should help set the scale. So now we can go through. Ancient Hero of Zamor, that's the great curved sword fighter with ice, cold spells. I'm gonna put this on good. I like the Zamor, the design of them. I like their visuals, I like the armor set, I like their ability. The snowstorm or winter storm, whatever ability that they use is really cool. I really wish the weapon, the great curved sword, was a regular curved sword, because I thoroughly enjoy the visuals of a snowstorm, which will come up later as well. Really tempted to try out a build with the spell. So side notes, but I mean sorcery, but we'll get to that later. And Ancestor Spirit, is this the first or the second one? I think Regal is the second one. Either way, I'm putting this in great. Not because the fight is special, it's just very mellow, like artistic. The OST is very calming, very like beautiful to listen to, and it doesn't really feel like a fight. It feels like an experience. As a fight, it's like maybe meh, but as an experience in an interactive media, a video game, this is just a great experience and a great memory, really. So the total package, great. Listen to the soundtrack multiple times, and the visual part also, the design of the character, the boss, the way it's supposed to represent like nature, I think, and the various animals. Or is that maybe the second one? I don't remember exactly. We'll just put the second one up there as well. I think maybe this one. So maybe this, something like this. Either way, just a great experience. Yeah. Estelle, Natural Born of the Void. That is the laser beam insect thing. Watching some lore about these, learned that, and this is also why one was found in one of the caves. I was wondering why the hell this was in a cave. So apparently they are adults, like, or evolved versions of these like space cows. Just a side note. Anyways, is this a good fight? Or is this a great fight? Is it good? And also, Estelle, Star of Darkness. I don't remember the difference between these two. Is there a difference? I'm trying to think. They're fairly unique. And it's a big boss, yet the camera is fairly stable. I'm gonna put it on good, because there is some jank, I think, with the grab. Also, the boss is a bit spammy. Or maybe it's just okay. It's okay. The boss is a bit spammy and has some grab, and the tail works in a very weird way. I'm gonna put it on okay. Visually speaking, it's cool. But yeah, it's not something I'm rushing to experience again. But if I have to fight it again, then, you know, whatever. A Dawn Thief of Fire. That's in one of those like the otherworldly platforms thingies. I think it's just an okay fight. I don't remember anything specific. It's like a fire guy. Yeah. Not really sure. Alabaster Lord. That's one of the gravity guys. They all fall under meh for me. Really, for the most part, they swing their swords, have some sword dash, and then pull you in. Yeah, just meh. Nothing special. Alecto Black Knife Ringleader. I am putting this one on good. Mechanically, fun fight. Here. A lot of moves to dodge, but in the end, it's not really a boss. It's a tough enemy. It has cool design, but there is no spectacle. No OST, no special OST that I remember. So really, the experience is really only tied to my liking of these type of characters. These like assassin type characters, sneaky type characters. So good. Yeah. Right. Ancient Dragon Lanciax. Dragons. This is probably gonna make a lot of people mad, so just let me explain this. I've explained it in the playthrough, but I'll explain it here again. The dragons themselves are cool. There's nothing wrong with the dragons. The camera makes the dragon fights absolutely unbearable because the camera just spazzes out. There's only one dragon that I fought where the camera didn't ruin the fight, and that dragon rates very highly. So I've no doubt that if they've hadn't messed up the camera in Elden Ring, all the dragons would rate from good and above. Unfortunately, the camera ruins this so bad. So they are an innocent victim of bad tech in the Elden Ring software or engine. Or whatever reason, for whatever reason, the camera acts the way it does. Battle Mage Hugus. The Battle Mages are... they're a bit challenging because they do a lot of damage. I don't like them, but I think they're okay. Because they are a bit tough, actually. I wouldn't necessarily put them in good, but they are okay. They are tough enemies. They have cool lore. I mean, to be fair, most of this they have cool lore, but and it does require a bit of gameplay to not get bombarded in the face or pancaked right in the face. So I'm gonna put them in okay. Personally, I'm not a fan of them, but oh well. Beastman of Farm Azul. I think this is the duo fight with Beastman. In one of the caves. Yeah. The Beastmen have a cool lore, but the fight itself... meh. Bell-bearing Hunters. They piss me off, but they're good. Because they're very technical, and they're actually a bit challenging. The window of healing is not very great. They have a lore to them, they look cool, they have cool abilities, but they are annoying as hell to fight. But overall, I think the design is actually pretty good. And I guess Elimir of the Briar, same thing. I would actually enjoy Elimir of the Briar more if bell-bearing hunters didn't exist, because I ran into several before I ran into the boss itself, which kind of took away a lot of the fun. I have a sneaking suspicion that Elimir would be great if it wasn't for the fact that I was just sick and tired of fighting them. Do you know what? I'll put it in... I'll put it in good. I have to go based on experience. I'm speculating. It's possible I would hate it as much if I hadn't fought them, so good. Black Blade Kindred. Are they those are the invisible ones, right? I'm just gonna put them in good because I'm not entirely sure. No, wait, Blackblade Kindred is the gargoyle. Ooh, the gargoyles, I think. Oh, yeah. The gargoyles are pretty good. They're also a bit challenging, actually. But they're pretty good. They're resistant to some of the like bleed and poison, I think, which makes them a bit challenging for those kind of builds, but mechanically... It's a very mechanical boss, I think. You just have to react and position properly, which is the type of fights I like. I don't remember if there was a lot of magnetism. I think the fights were fairly ethical, like fair. So yeah, pretty great, honestly. Bloodhound Knight Darryville, is that what it says? Names might be wrong, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a pretty great one. Pretty challenging. You meet it early. You get good rewards. And I think the lore is pretty interesting, if I remember correctly. I'll put it on great. Bowls Carrion Knight. I genuinely don't remember this at all. I don't remember it, so I guess we just leave it. Borealis the Freezing. think this one went okay. I don't think there was any camera jank. Actually, let's put it on good. I'm trying to think. Was there any camera nonsense with this one? I don't think it jumps around. So maybe great, actually. Yeah, let's put it on great. I don't remember being annoyed much at the camera for this one. Actually, it's good. Maybe a little bit forgettable, but let's rank it higher here. Something like this. This. Yeah, I think this is fair. Cemetery Shade. I don't remember. Remember the name, don't remember the fight. Clean Rot Knight. Meh. Just meh. Commander Niall. He is great. I really liked his fight. I liked his movement. I liked his design. I liked the arena. I liked the reward. The armor set is pretty cool. The one thing that stops us from going into... The two things that stop it from going into amazing, really, is the atmosphere. It just feels a little bit like low. It's not like a high stakes fight. And also the fight starts with 2 ads. And I hate ads. Now I cheese the ads with the spark perfume thingies. So I can imagine that other people that don't like ads would probably put him further down, so... But I think the other aspects of the boss really pulls it up. Could argue maybe good because of the ads, but yeah. Put it up there. This is the ad guy in Rot, I think, Commander O'Neill. Meh. Ad fights, I'll put it up in a higher meh. Well, there we go. Crucible Knight. And Crucible Knight Ordovis. Terrible. I mean, the Crucible Knights are terrible. I don't like them. They're annoying. I mean, design-wise, they're not that bad, to be honest. I think it's just my personal hatred for them. And the fact that you have to just deal with them over and over. I think if you were to just fight this once, it would be cool. But all the other Crucible Knights, just because you keep facing them over and over, putting them in terrible. Maybe meh. Like, I use a summon for this. Screw it. Let's put the Crucible Knights down here in the junk here. Crystallians. Meh. They have interesting lore, but what a meaningless enemy to fight. Completely forgettable. Deathbirds. Deathbirds are fun. They're all actually fun. They're quite challenging, or can be, depending on which stage of the game you are when you meet them. But they can also be very annoying. Some of the attacks are very annoying, but overall I think they're pretty cool. Design-wise, reward-wise, lore-wise, which I've learned. Yeah, they're actually 8 here. Decaying Exekis, that's the Rot Dragon in Kalid. That's actually another dragon where the camera isn't a problem, really. So yeah, I'll put it in 8 here. Rot, it had the Rot AoE thing. Overall, pretty decent, pretty good. Actually, more dragons that than I remember, than I initially remember, that weren't affected much by the shitty camera, so that's good. Demi-humans... Meh. Maybe the Demi-human Chiefs is okay. It's a pretty cool fight. Demi-human Queen, I think that's like the one that cast stuff in like one of the churches. Just meh. Nothing special. Draconic Tree Sentinel. This enemy got me really salty. But it is an okay fight. Nah. You know what? Yeah, you know what? It's an okay fight. Put it on the higher end of okay. The fire burp from the donkey that they ride is very annoying. But that's part of the difficulty, I think, to create a small window to heal. So they can be a bit challenging. It's definitely a fight that you have to stay close to the enemy and learn. I think the problem is that they show up in the most inconvenient times, and that kind of makes them more annoying than they really are. Dragonkin Soldier of Noxtella. Dragonkin soldiers in general are pretty good, I think. Actually, this one is really good. I think this is the one with the blue lightning, the ice lightning. The regular one is like okay, it's just a boring version. But this one's pretty good. Dragon Lord Placido Sax. This is the one in Farmazula or Farmazulam. I forgot the name. In the Crumbling City. This is a really good fight. There are some annoying elements to it, but it's not really the fight itself. The long walk from the Grace is annoying. The HP is really high, but it is a optional boss, and optional bosses usually have high HP. I was actually thinking about it really quickly, like which bosses I would rank in A tier and S tier. I was thinking of putting Dragon Lord in A tier, but honestly thinking about it, the camera is really, really consistent. The movesets are really cool. The spectacle is amazing, especially that explosion attack, the way it dive bombs you. A lot of cool stuff going on in this boss. The hitbox of the wing swipe is annoying. The stone throw from the wing is also really annoying. The lightning also, but it's not Malekith level S. But it is S. I think it's actually, the more I think about it, the more I enjoy the design of this fight. It's really good, actually. Really, really good. Elden Beast. Did this separate Elden Beast and Radon? Or Radagon? No, Radon, that's his name. Even now I'm still... No, it's Radagon. Even now I still mess up the names. Elden Beast. Elden Beast. So what's cool about the Elden Beast? Like the cosmic visuals kind of cool. The ring attack is interesting. Other than that, it's really not bringing anything new to the fight. It's fire breath, which is annoying. Projectiles from the air, that is meh. It has the sword projectiles. That is meh. Swinging his sword, that is meh, or its sword. And really the camera just, it's like moving around a lot. I'm just gonna put this on meh, to be honest. Yeah, really disappointing end. And this is like sort of the... No, it's just disappointing. It's really meh for me. Not even okay, to be honest. I'll probably forget this fight. When I'm thinking about some of these, right? This I'll probably just forget. I'll probably just remember what it looks like. And that's it. Which isn't good at all. Elder Dragon Grail. What? Like, it's just a dragon slaying. It's a punching bag. Come on. I think that's the one, right? Erdtree Avatars. Meh. Face them so many times is just annoying. Erdtree Burial Watchdogs. Get out of here. Horrible. Horrible enemy. Escar Priest of Blood. Did you? I don't remember. Falling Star Beast. Meh. Fell Twins. That's the ambush on the bridge, I think, where everything goes black. Cool cinematic thing, but the fell enemies are just terrible. Magnetism is insane. Hate it. Fierce Champion. Okay concept. You fight like NPC copies of real players. Fire Giant. The Fire Giant fight is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty good fight. It's just nothing special. Put it there. Yeah, it's a fight that works. Is it though? Maybe it's just good. Now that I think about it. The cinematic is actually pretty good. Add something to it. And it's a bit challenging, I guess. So. Flying Dragon Agil. Flying Dragons, terrible. Flying Dragons, terrible. Frenzied Duelist. Alright. Mechanical. Full Grown Falling Star Beast. Meh. Glintstone Dragon Adula. That's the one guarding Ronnie's, like, where Ronnie's waiting, I think. Or is that this one? The Glintstone Dragon Smile. I think this one is the one. I think this one is outside of the academy. That one's a bit annoying. Nah. And I think the one that was guarding Ronnie is okay. Godfroy the Grafted. This is the Boreal. Is it Boreal World? I don't remember. It's okay. It's good. It's a good fight. Good mechanical fight. Godfrey, first Elden Lord. Alright. That's phase 1, right? Godfrey. Do they have more Godfreys here? Godfrey. No? So it's an entire fight. Okay, it's an entire fight. I'm giving it S. First, I've been here listening to a lot of the lore of Godfrey, and the more I hear the lore, and this isn't part of the judgment, and just a side note, the more I like him. So just the fight itself, I think the fight is really clean. Traditionally speaking, and we'll get to this later, axe and hammer building enemies have insane magnetism in Souls games, but this fight is really clean. The second phase is a bit arcade-ish. Reminds me a lot of Zangief. But it really is supposed to tell a story of who he was when he wasn't the Elden Lord, or when he wasn't Godfrey. So I think really, yeah, I think it just does a good job depicting the character, like telling the story of a character. Not to mention that the fight itself is quite good and quite mechanical. Yeah, overall, just no complaints, honestly. Just not my type of fight. As you can see, I really like these very, like, high intensity, explosive spectacle fights, which we'll also see more of, depending on who I put in S tier, or how I ranked the S tier once. Godfrey's a bit more down to earth. So it's just a personal preference, but really no complaints. It's a pretty good fight. The Shade, I'm just gonna put it in great. just a fight that works, honestly. Godric the Grafted. I think this is an S tier fight as well. I'm thinking back at it, and I can't really remember if there was anything wrong with it. It seemed to be fairly clean. I might be wrong, and maybe it's supposed to go into great. Yeah, the character is rather like decrepit, but I think the fight and the character design just does a very good job of this, like describing the decrepitness, if I'm using that word correctly, of the character. So I think the design is really good. And the fight, from what I remember, there wasn't anything major where I thought this is dysfunctional. So I'm just gonna put it on the low end of amazing. It's just a fight that works really well. It's just a clean, well-designed fight. And also the storytelling. Who's this? Godskin Apostle. Godskin Apostle has an amazing OST. I'm gonna put it here. It's a cool enemy, cool weapon, cool Ash of War that it uses, cool OST, but in the end, the excitement of the fight is mid, really. The moveset that it has is really mid. Godskin Duo. Okay. It's a really, really annoying fight. But it's a fun fight to beat. Godskin Noble, terrible. Ah, you know what? I'm gonna put it on meh. Yeah. Nah. I think the shared HP pool makes it okay. If it wasn't shared, I'll put it on meh. But a gimmick of it being shared adds a layer of strategy to the fight. That's why the Godskin Duo goes here. Godskin Noble is just annoying. Deceptively long range. These built-in lunges, the rolling attack, the design of the character, just not my taste at all. Maybe up here. Just really annoying enemy. Golem Archer. Meh. Don't even remember this being a boss. Wait. Did I pick the wrong one? Yeah. Golem Archer. Don't even remember this being a boss. Grafted Scion. Oh yeah, those guys. Are pretty good. Can be dangerous early in the game. Can be annoying. But the design is pretty good. Grave Warden Duelist. Meh. Barely even remember. Great Worm Theodorix. The worms are really annoying. Completely uninteresting. Guardian Golem. Don't remember. Kindred of Rot. It's just one of those insects, I believe. Leonin Misbegotten. Meh. Nothing special. Doesn't really matter to me where it lands. Lich Dragon Fortisax. This one I missed out on, so I'm not going to rank it. Loretta. Loretta I am putting in great. Loretta is a pretty good fight. Good design, good spells. Overall, just a really, really good fight. Maybe I should put this one down there. Both the spirit and actual. We go up here with the Fire Giant. Mad Pumpkinhead. I don't even. Magma Worm, terrible. Ah, Melania. Goddess of Rot. Here. I like Phase 2 more than Phase 1. Phase 1, as I've said before, I think is a really good Sekiro fight. In Elden Ring, it's a bit cheesy with the stagger and just baiting stuff out. But the design, the OST, Phase 2, really exciting, really challenging. Yeah, good. Phase 1 can get a bit boring though. But what gives it the edge over Godfrey is the design. I really like the design of Melania more than I like the design of Godfrey. And the fighting experience is also more engaging. Although a bit more salt-inducing though, but that's fine. Margit the Fell Omen. I like Margit. Margit's moveset is actually pretty good, pretty interesting. Is it better than Godfrey? Yes. I think Margit is more interesting to fight than Godfrey. Is it better than Melania? Honestly, yes. I think so. I think Margit has a wide, varying moveset with cool effects. And I think the fight through and through is interesting. And I also... Yeah, actually, I was gonna say it's a bit harder, but I'm not sure if that's true. I think Melania is harder because she just hits hard when she hits. Margit is a bit harder because there's a wider range of movesets that you have to react to and learn. It's a more interactive, active fight. There's less running away and just waiting for an opportunity. You actually have to interact with the boss a lot. So I'm actually calling Margit a better fight than Melania. Melania has a cooler design, but Margit is a better boss fight, I think. Didn't think about that until now, but yeah. Some people might disagree with that very badly, and maybe Melania is more memorable, and she probably is. So I'm not saying 1-to-1 on every metric, Margit is better, but the total, I think Margit is a more engaging boss fight than Melania. But I think over time, Melania is going to be more memorable than Margit. But I also think that's just because of the story. And also maybe because of the spectacle. Yeah, it's very close, very close. Like either one of these, I wouldn't be upset if somebody disagreed and said that Melania is marginally more interesting than Margit. Understandable. Just from thinking about it, I think Margit's moveset is a bit cooler to play against. Mimic Tear. Cool. Okay. Miranda. Okay, that's a plant, right? Alright, Mog, Lord of Blood. Wait, I might be mixing these. Morgoth the Omen King. Wait, Margit. Then who's Margit? I think Margit is the one you fight in Stormvale. Yeah, I mean, that one's cool. Then this is the one I think should go up in S tier. I mean, over Melania. Yeah, I think this is right. Yeah, I think this is cool. Right. Mog, Lord of Blood. Mog, Lord of Blood. Mog, the Omen. So essentially, Mog the Omen is phase 1. Just more boring. It lacks the Nihil stuff, I think, and the OST. So I think they're just gonna put Mog the Omen in high... Yeah, I think this is cool. High A tier, but Mog, Lord of Blood. Where do you go, sir? The OST is just next level. Memorizing this is next level. And I think the spectacle of Placebo Sax is cooler than Mog, but as a boss fight, as a player, I think Mog is better. Because even if you know the fight, phase 2 is quite hard. Same with Malekith. You really need to play the game. And this is also one of the reasons why Melania isn't really up here in the top 3. Because you can run away and avoid most of the stuff that she does. Malekith and Mog, you really can't, from what I remember. You really have to pay attention, react properly, position properly, especially Mog. You have to take note of the fire, the blood flame on the ground. You have to think about where the projectile is fired when he's casting his spells, his incantations, so you don't box yourself in. The time window to heal is very low. Genuinely fun fights and challenging fights, even when you know them, I think. That's why they get the top 2 spots. Between them, I just think Malekith's design is cooler. I like his story, I like his voice acting, I like the character more. But I think in difficulty, maybe Mog is a bit more difficult. But I think Malekith is a bit more fun to fight. That's why it gets the top tier. But both of them, insanely good boss fights. Necromancer Garrus, no idea. Knights Cavalry. Alright, just put it somewhere, really. Actually, they're pretty good. I'll put them here. They're pretty good. Nox Duo. That's a pretty good fight, actually. It's the one that has the sledgehammer on the sword and then the whip sword. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Learning a lot about the Nox from the lore. Really interesting faction in the story. Omen Killer. Okay. Onyx Lord. Meh. Really meh. Patches. Sure. Let's put Patches in, okay. He did manage to court Lady Tanith, so you know what, we give him top tier C. He gets top C tier just because of that. Perfumer Trisha and Leonin Misbegotten. Meh. Putrid Avatar. Get out of here. Terrible. It's the one that farts a lot. Spirit Color Snail. Annoying. Putrid Grave Warden Duelist. Meh. Don't care. Putrid Tree Spirit. Is that the worms? Ugh, terrible. That's like the giant worms. Radagon of the Golden Order. Bottom D tier. Where's the Elden Beast? The Elden Beast is also in D tier. We can put the Elden Beast up on... Nah, do you know what? Top D tier. Elden Beast gets top D tier. The reason why Radagon of the Golden Order gets lowest D tier is because these two, Elden Beast and Radagon, is a massive degradation of the quality of bosses in Elden Ring back to what the garbage that you find in Dark Souls 3. It is deceptful range based on the weapon design. Annoying chains, boring attacks, these weird iframe windows, and worst of all is the insane magnetism on his overhead attacks. I think at some point there's one attack that can have a magnetism of almost 180 degrees. Like around 160, 165 degrees. It's stupid. It's everything I hate about Dark Souls 3 fights, and it's everything that doesn't exist in the Esther fights. The Esther fights are clean mechanically. This one is just junk. It only gets not terrible because of some of the ground attacks that are spectacularly very interesting, and they are wave attacks, so you have to time your jump. In that sense, I think it's not completely terrible, and the Elden Beast also has that one ring attack and the cosmic visual, so it has something, but other than that, just complete boring, annoying Dark Souls 3 crap. Happy if I never have to fight him again. Red Wolf of Radagon. The Red Wolf in general, terrible to fight. Terrible. Jumps around, teleports around, I even think. Shoots projectiles at you, dashes, has a weird hitbox, really difficult for builds with short range, especially dagger. Never want to fight it again. Renala. Renala, I unfortunately beat while being overpowered. I'm just putting it here for the time being. I didn't really get to experience it. So I can only judge based on visual. And visually speaking, I think it's a very beautiful looking fight. The arena is really nice. Actually, I need to put it here then. Because I just don't know how the fight is. I have a sneaking suspicion it's very annoying. Maybe it's even top 8 here, but I don't know. Because I was over leveled when I faced her, so I probably missed out on 90% of the movesets, to be honest. Big oversight by me back then, but oh well, live and learn. We put it here because the only thing I can judge is the visuals. Royal Knight Loretta. Slightly less interesting than the real version. Royal Revenant, get out of here. Rune Bear, is that what that says? Holy crap, get out of here. Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy. I'm just gonna put it on top of B tier, really. It's visually a good fight. It has some interesting stuff with a spear, but nah, maybe a bit higher. The design is pretty cool. Is it cooler than Fire Giant? No. Is it a cooler experience than the Regal? No. Is it cooler than the Shade of Godfrey? Yes. Yeah, I think here. Cool design, the spear thing is interesting enough, the arena is interesting, but overall, the fight itself didn't seem that interesting. Sanguine Noble. Sanguine Noble is a really cool enemy. You know what? I'm putting it higher than Rykard. Just thematically and design-wise, really cool. Quite annoying, but the armor set is cool, the attacks are cool, theme is cool. Yeah. Maybe a bit lower than Rykard. Rykard is a bit more memorable. He has some weight. The lore weight. Scaly Misbegotten. Don't remember. Gideon. The spell spammy guy, huh? I'm gonna put it on the lower end of good. What do we have here? Maybe. Was it more interesting than Nox Duo? It's more spectacle. Do we give him good points just because it's a spectacle? The fight itself is really uninteresting. You just chase him down and punch him in the face. I think like this. Yeah, maybe here. Yeah, I think this is fine, right? Yeah, that's fine. You can go there. Soldiers of Godric? I have no idea. No idea what that is. Star Scourge Radon. So initially I rated Radon very highly, but after playing through more of these, he kind of fell down a little bit. The design is a bit wonky with a tiny donkey. But I think it's right behind Godfrey. It was fun to learn, fun to fight. I guess some annoying moves. And just a bit of a janky design. But yeah, fun. It was really fun to fight him, especially under-leveled. And I guess that's a good sign when you're under-leveled, but you're still motivated to learn the fight and beat something under-leveled. I think that's good. Stone Digger Troll, terrible. A lot of the AoE shockwaves. Tibia Mariner? Meh. Tree Sentinel. Tree Sentinel was actually very fun to learn. very annoying, but fun to fight in the beginning. Then later they got very annoying. But I think still the design of them are pretty good. It's just my issue with repeat fights. But overall, the moveset and the design is really cool. Tree Spirit, get the hell out of here. Honestly, the F tier, I'm not even ranking them because they're all junk. Valiant Gargoyles. Gargoyle. The gargoyles are pretty good, actually. I'll put them here. I think that's a duo fight. Yeah, the duo fight is quite hard, actually. Yeah, I'm putting it there. Oh yeah, and these ones I don't remember. Okay, there we got it. I don't know if I've forgotten one or not. I probably have some mini bosses or whatever. Trying to think if there is any remembrance bosses that's not here. Probably not. If I can't think of one, then clearly it's not S tier. Give me 10 seconds to think. Don't think there is one. Actually, I have a feeling there is one missing. Who could that be? Oh, well. If there is, then wasn't that special to begin with. Yeah, so mostly this is all meaningless from C and below. Nobody cares. Kind of quick list. Actually, not that quick. It took an hour. Yeah, so I guess like S and A tier are the interesting ones. Maybe S to B. I don't think this is a shock to anyone. I think most people who play the game would rank these in the S tier. Some people might put Ronaldo down, Riker up, maybe some of the dragons. What's potentially controversial here? Elden Beast, Radagon, Crucible Knights, maybe. Maybe some people like the Gideon fight and Draconic Tree Sentinel, I guess. Either way, so this is my tier list of the Elden Ring bosses. That is on this list, of course. Yeah. I bet some people disagree. And please let me know if you do. Anyways, bye.